WVII Bangor.
This is ABC 7 News at Noon.
Students at Herman High School are using bottled water because of chemicals found in the school's drinking water. We've got the details coming up. Good afternoon, I'm Susan Farley. A man from Maine pled not guilty to carrying out a machete attack in New York City, and the Internal Revenue Service is recommending some taxpayers hold off filing their tax returns. You can find out why and if you might be one of them. Thank you for joining us. We'll have more on these and other stories coming up. First, let's check in with meteorologist Devin Biggs. Devin?
Hey Susan, happy Thursday afternoon. Your first weather forecast brought to you by Luigi and Fredericks across from Eastern Maine Medical Center, serving the greater Bangor area for over 65 years. Here we go. We have some advisories in effect. This right here is a winter weather advisory that's up because of some accumulating snow expected with a transition eventually to rain. That's why there's nothing in effect in the southern parts of the state. That's a gale warning right here in this shade. That right there is actually a gale watch. We can actually pop that up for you right now, and that's mainly up through Friday as well. So at some point, we're going to see this shade of color right here upgrade to a gale warning. But for now, that's a gale watch. But farther off towards the south and west in this shade right there, that is a small crowd advisory that's also in effect. But meanwhile, though, we're quiet at the moment, and we're just going to be watching for increasing clouds throughout the rest of the daytime period as our next system starts to move in. We'll zoom things out. We're seeing it now tracking from the west, going toward the east, and a little bit from the south and west also. It will start to approach by about 6 o'clock tonight, so late in the daytime forecast period, some rain and snow showers will begin to move in. Increasing clouds today, there's when all that will begin to move in with a transition to rain overnight as temperatures will rise with a few rain showers possible as we head towards Friday morning too, but starting to dry out by Friday afternoon. Winds won't be too bad for today, but by tomorrow and even later on tonight, the winds will increase for that next system that will be passing through, so that's why those advisories are up along the coast. So your hourly forecast for the rest of the afternoon period, the precipitation begins later by about 6 p.m. or so. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Susan?
Thank you, Devin. A man from Maine has pled not guilty to carrying out a machete attack in New York City. Trevor Bigfoot of Wells is facing both attempted murder and assault charges for a violent attack in Times Square on New Year's Eve. Officials say the 19-year-old has been studying radical Islamic ideology and wanted to wage jihad against U.S. officials and those he thought were anti-Muslim. 3 police officers were injured in the attack, including one who suffered a fractured skull. Bigfoot pleaded not guilty this week after being indicted on numerous charges. A Mount Chase man faces charges following a police search. 38-year-old Trevor DeRosiers was arrested Tuesday after police searched a home and found 2 guns. The search was part of an investigation that began in December when police were called to a home after hearing about an alleged assault. DeRosiers was arrested and faces a variety of charges, including assault, unlawful sexual contact, and possession of a firearm by a prohibited person. Herman High School is dealing with high PFAS levels in their drinking water. Not only are they taking it in stride, but they're using it as a learning opportunity. Matthew Durantzik has more.
Due to elevated PFAS levels in the water supply, staff and students at Herman High School are switching to bottled water for the rest of the school year.
We got our first round of results in December. We, at that time, had a level that was elevated but not over the limit at Herman High School.
At the time, Herman's superintendent of schools, Micah Grant, had the choice to retest the water or wait another year. He decided to retest and found out the levels were above the state limit.
When this news came out, was the math and science teachers at the high school started talking about what does parts per trillion mean and what can the effects of PFAS do to the body. And so they actually started to explore the numbers and the science behind this announcement.
Math teacher Brandon Crocker says he wants to help students gain a better perspective on the issue.
It's easy to get lost in, well, how does this relate to the real world? And so kind of putting it back in that context of, okay, there's this amount in the water, having that in the context is a very good idea.
Crocker used a swimming pool example to explain to students that 1 part per trillion of PFAS is equivalent to 1 drop of water in 20 Olympic-sized pools.
They showed us a presentation in the classrooms, so I realized that it wasn't bad, and I knew that our school is going to do whatever is best for us.
Now that students have a better understanding, they're thankful Grant retested the water.
He's saving us so much because even though it's a small percentage that we're over, he's helping us so much because we wouldn't have even known that this was in our water.
The district is pursuing a plan for mitigation equipment that will cost at least $50,000. In Herman, Matthew Juronsik reporting for ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
Susan Collins spoke today from her new position as vice chair of the Defense Appropriations Subcommittee to question top national security officials about the Chinese surveillance balloon dilemma. She voiced a variety of concerns, including her opinion that the balloon could have been shot down sooner. She echoed concerns that communication between the president's administration and the Defense Command Force about the path of the balloon before it was spotted over Montana was insufficient and inconsistent.
Regarding previous balloons, it's alarming that NORAD and NORTHCOM were apparently unaware of these incidents in real time. That exposes questions about whether there are unacceptable gaps in the military's ability to detect and address potential airborne threats.
Collins' presentation was followed by testimony from 4 officials within the Biden administration regarding their surveillance efforts. Maine's community colleges have ended their COVID-19 vaccination requirement for on-campus students effective immediately. The Maine Community College System Board came to a unanimous decision Wednesday to rescind the vaccination requirement and adopt language to strongly encourage all learners to receive the COVID-19 vaccination and boosters, in addition to the board's president announcement that the schools intend to strengthen and expand wellness education aimed at mitigating the spread of respiratory illness. Students at the off-site locations are still required to adhere to the state's guidelines and are only the exception to the rule. The Internal Revenue Service is recommending taxpayers hold off filing their tax returns if they received a special tax fund or payment from the state last year. The IRS is clarifying whether the payments from the state should be taxed federally or not. According to a statement from the IRS, the rules surrounding these payments are complex. They will provide additional clarity for many states and taxpayers as early as next week. Despite the recent announcement, Thomas Tax and Financial Services in Bangor owner Bob Thomas says it's business as usual.
How I'm treated as non-taxable as far as federal is concerned. I'm not putting it on anybody's. I'm saying it's a reimbursement of Maine taxes.
The IRS is also recommending people who have already filed their taxes to not file for an amendment. They will provide guidance for the matter in the coming week. A group of local town officials believe they have found a solution to the state's ongoing EMT crisis. Devin Dagnall met with one of them to learn more.
This may be a model for other communities because it's not just us, it's the whole county plus the whole state, actually, from what we've been hearing.
Town officials from Cherryfield, Millbridge, and Steuben believe they have found a solution to what they call the EMT crisis facing their communities. They want to pool their resources and fund a single ambulance corps called the Bold Coast Ambulance Services. According to the Millbridge town manager, Lewis Pinkham, if approved, Bold Coast Ambulance will service all 3 towns and beyond with 2 ambulances at separate locations. Pinkham says the plan would not only improve response time but save all 3 towns money in the long run.
We'll have a lot more control because it will be the towns that's overseeing it. And we'll also get all of the revenue back that is generated from all of the calls.
According to Pinkham, the initial estimated cost will be just over $500,000, a majority of which will be used to purchase a new ambulance that will be housed and maintained in Millbridge. The 3 towns will also use the ambulance currently in Cherryfield, where it will remain. Pinkham says he thinks the towns already have most of, if not all of the funding needed, and there is no expected increase in property taxes.
We are going to try hardest to make certain that we don't increase property taxes. But the thing is, they're going to be getting way more service than they have in the past and a lot quicker response time, so obviously it's going to cost a little bit more.
As far as Millbridge's current ambulance service, Petite Manan, Pinkham says Millbridge will continue to fund them as they have been, and that all EMTs have been offered positions within Bold Coast Ambulance Service. Officials from Millbridge, Cherryfield, and Steuben will be convening on February 21st at 6 p.m. in the Millbridge Elementary School gym and are inviting residents from all 3 towns to voice their opinions there.
We want to show complete transparency. We want to assure the people that we're doing everything we can to provide them with the best service we can.
In Millbridge, Devin Dagnall, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Coming up on ABC 7 News at noon, a big conservation project is slated for the town of Trenton. We've got the details when we come back.
After my accident, I needed help.
I was looking for information online.
Then I found it.
JoeBornstein.com.
Get help now at JoeBornstein.com. From your smartphone or desktop. Here in Maine, the law offices of Joe Bornstein is as close as your fingertips.
The consultation was free and confidential.
In person or online.
They believe your case is worth more. Call Joe, the law offices of Joe Bornstein. Maine lawyers working for Maine people.
Your favorite restaurants were half off. It's half off dining from Fox 22 and ABC 7. Go to foxbangor.com, click on half off dining, and start saving now.
Huang Li Chinese restaurant in Pittsfield has a wide selection of tasty dishes, including poo-poo for two with rice, General Tao chicken, sesame chicken, beef teriyaki, and more. They are just minutes from Interstate 95 Pittsfield exit.
Great restaurants from all over Eastern Maine at half off dining from Fox 22 and ABC 7.
Living in Maine means long, cold winters and hot, humid summers. Whatever the weather, Bangor Heat Pumps is your solution. Open 24/7, Bangor Heat Pumps takes care of you at home or at work. We operate statewide and service all brands and models. Understanding moving can be stressful. We will help move any units you may have. We offer a veterans discount in our home with a Capeless Hero discount. Visit us online at BangorHeatPumpsLLC.com or call or text us at 307-7746. Bangor Heat Pumps.
It's high school basketball season, and ABC 7 and Fox 22 are here to keep you up to date with your local scores and highlights during Friday Night Fast Break. Get out and support your hometown teams and look for our sports crew to get your own free Friday Night Fast Break t-shirt courtesy of
Alpenglow Adventure Sports, Jackson Automotive Incorporated, Rose Bicycle, Silver Fox Automotive, The Family Dog, and The Local.
Honey, where's the countertop?
I sent it out to the granite shop this morning to be replaced.
Wow. The quickest turnaround in the business. The Granite Shop in Sedgwick.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
Tuesday night, President Biden's State of the Union address drew reactions from both sides of the political aisle. Our David Ledford breaks it down.
There were several memorable moments during the State of the Union address, including heckles from members of the Republican Party and a focus on the domestic economy. During the address, Biden discussed the supply chain and Buy American policies. Kristen Vicasi, an associate professor at the University of Maine, Department of Political Science and School of Policy and International Affairs, explained what this could mean.
Many of the policies that were proposed in the State of the Union are can be easily interpreted as trade protection in other names. In particular, the Buy American policies that President Biden proposed will be very much seen as off-putting from the United States' friends and allies.
Mark Brewer, professor and interim chair at the University of Maine's Department of Political Science, says that despite vocal disapproval at times, there were clear signs of unity as well.
There were some areas where we could see bipartisan support, and certainly the president and Speaker McCarthy seemed to have moments, at least, where they had kind of genuine engagement with each other, which that's a positive, I would say.
Concerns around the Chinese spy balloon that was recently shot down were another topic at the address. Vicasi explained that while some feel Biden acted too late, there is more to be uncovered with the issue.
In the speech, Biden said, if China threatens our sovereignty, we will act to protect our country, and we did. And that was referencing the spy balloon incident. We don't have enough technical details of what kinds of information was being gathered and the extent to which it was sensitive information in order to make the judgment of whether it was done too early or too late.
David Ledford, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
$1 million is going to a conservation project in Trenton thanks to a grant awarded through the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. It will fund the conservation of 216 acres of intertidal and freshwater wetlands and adjacent uplands in Trenton. A statement says coastal wetlands are vitally important in protecting communities from floods, filtering water, supporting recreation, and providing habitat for fish and wildlife. Despite their importance, there has been a steady loss of coastal wetlands. The acquisition will be managed by the Maine Department of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife in partnership with the Frenchman Bay Conservancy. Legislation has been introduced that would add e-bikes to the electric vehicle rebate program. Efficiency Maine currently offers instant and mail-in rebates for qualifying battery-powered vehicles and plug-in hybrid electric vehicles. Senator Matty Daughtry of Brunswick introduced the bill and says, quote, "We want to encourage more people to commute by e-bike instead of a gas-powered vehicle. Gas-powered vehicles remain the highest sources of greenhouse gas emissions in Maine. The measure now faces further action in committee." After the break, we'll have the latest on the rescue efforts in the deadly earthquake that hit Turkey and Syria. We'll be right back.
At Living Innovations, we build community. You can be a part of it. We put supporting people first, and that builds a caring community within our workforce and for the people we serve. Living Innovations supports people with disabilities and has flexible work opportunities available. You could become a shared living provider and work from home, or help support people to be active in the community. To learn more, visit livinginnovations.com and check out our employment and home provider opportunities. Become a part of Living Innovations and be part of a community with a purpose.
It's high school basketball season, and ABC7 and Fox 22 are here to keep you up to date with your local scores and highlights during Friday Night Fast Break. Get out and support your hometown teams and look for our sports crew to get your own free Friday Night Fast Break t-shirt courtesy of
Coastal Auto Parts, Comfort Shoes and more, Maine Collision Center, The Farmer's Table, Tossie's Checkout and Convenience Store, and Urban Air Adventures.
The industry-first 2-in-1 removable agitator from Whirlpool gives you 2 ways to wash. Jeans, in. Sweaters, out. Towels, in. Comforters, out. You decide. Whirlpool.
Key Appliance, we hold the key to savings.
I was riding my bike just as nice as could be. I look up and here comes a car in my lane.
I saw Michael hit the car. He flew in the air.
I was in a coma for 30 some odd days. I woke up and I looked down and what is my leg? He had 2 or 3 types of fentanyl in him.
Cocaine and heroin.
Yeah. It's a robbery of life is what it is.
People that are on drugs don't realize it's not if you're going to hurt somebody, it's when.
I'm a great study of when.
Every night is pizza night at Dragonfire Pizza. From wings, salads, and sides to our specialty wood-fired pizzas. You'll find everything you need to satisfy any craving by the slice or by the pie. A little slice of heaven is waiting for you at Dragonfire Pizza, Mill Mall, Ellsworth.
Spend an evening with James Taylor and his all-star band. The American icon is back on tour, June 27th at Maine Savings Amphitheater. The multiple Grammy Award-winning James Taylor and a night full of his biggest hits.
Tickets on sale Friday at 10 a.m. at waterfrontconcerts.com or ticketmaster.com.
Spend the night with a friend, James Taylor.
The death toll from the earthquake in Turkey and Syria is rising. It's now topping 17,000, and the window of hope to find more survivors buried in the rubble is slowly closing.
This morning, a desperate race against the clock as the critical 72-hour window to find survivors closes. The death toll staggering. More than 17,000 people killed, including at least 3 Americans. Despite the dwindling hope, amid the death and rubble, there are still incredible stories of survival. This baby girl named Helen saved just in the nick of time in Antakya, Turkey, surviving 68 hours underneath the debris. For everyone here, the desperate search and rescue is deeply personal. I would die for you, thank God, he says, carrying baby Helen to safety. Another man, a father, rescued in the 74th hour, 2 hours after his daughter was pulled out of the same rubble, the crowd chanting, "God is great," as he's carried to an ambulance. But these miracles are few and far between. We watched 7 members of one extended family pulled from the rubble of their apartment building, all killed while they slept, the youngest just 6 weeks old. The scene here in Antakya is absolutely shocking. Almost every single home has been destroyed. All around you is destruction, death and grief. Lots of people are complaining about the lack of government help, but as you can see, the scale of need here is absolutely overwhelming. Satellite images show the shocking scale of destruction here in Antakya. Apartment blocks and houses razed to the ground. And the danger's still far from over. With repeated aftershocks, more than 600 recorded since Sunday. And every time one happens, these desperately needed rescue crews must stop their work. Overnight in Syria, near the capital Damascus, a 4-story building collapsed. 2 families reportedly trapped inside. The Turkish military has now been deployed inside the earthquake zone amid growing criticism about a sluggish response from the Turkish government. Although the operation is still underway to try and reach people trapped under the rubble, the reality is that this has now become a recovery operation.
Body cam footage from Israeli troops captured a violent raid on a West Bank refugee camp, with Israeli forces killing 5 Palestinian gunmen allegedly linked to Hamas. The Israeli military says the raid was meant to capture suspects who reportedly attempted a shooting at a restaurant in a Jewish settlement on the West Bank. The troops breaking down a gate and entering the camp at night, claiming to search for the subjects. The gunfight erupted during the operation, leaving a trail of bullet marks, debris, and blood. Hamas confirming that all 5 people killed were armed members of the group. The Palestinian Residence Office calling the raid a crime and are now urging the U.S. to push Israel to curb their attacks. Violence on the West Bank has ramped up recently. This bloodshed comes about a month after Israel's new right-wing government came to power. More women are entering medical school than men, but male doctors are still making more money than female doctors. With more, here's ABC's Faith Abube.
A new study finds that the pay gap between women and men in the medical field has tripled over the last 7 years. Researchers at the University of California studied more than 1,000 payments and the trends among the highest paid doctors of the top 15 medical supply companies. They found that around 97% of the 5 highest earners were men and only 3% were women. On average, women made just over $40,000, but men made nearly $1.2 million. Unequal payments existed across all specialties, even those that women typically hold, like pediatrics and obstetrics and gynecology. The study did not look at race, age, or years of practice. With this Medical Minute, I'm Faith Abube, ABC News.
When we return, Devin Biggs has your 5-day forecast.
When it comes to winter footwear, warmth, waterproof, and safety matter most. Take the drive today to Comfort Shoes and More in Newport and discover the latest in winter boot technology. We've got boots rated from -60 to 0 degrees Fahrenheit to keep your feet warm in any weather. Check out the new materials guaranteed to keep your feet dry. Relieve the anxiety of slipping and falling this winter with the new Navitech with grippers built right into the sole. Just flip it and clip it and you're ready to go. Be prepared this winter. Take the drive today to Comfort Shoes and More in Newport.
It's high school basketball season, and ABC7 and Fox 22 are here to keep you up to date with your local scores and highlights during Friday Night Fast Break. Get out and support your hometown teams and look for our sports crew to get your own free Friday Night Fast Break t-shirt courtesy of
Belmont Boat Works, Vaughn and Masonry Incorporated, Coastal Auto Parts, Colburn Shoe Store, Ferriello Construction, and Front Street Shipyard.
If you're eligible for Medicare and Medicaid, a Medicare Advantage plan from Anthem Maine Health can come with all the benefits you want and 0 compromises. Just go to anthemainehealth.com/answers or call 855-753-3928 for a one-on-one Medicare plan review. Ask about our $0 monthly premium plans that include dental, vision, and hearing coverage, along with transportation, a free gym membership, and $0 copay for prescriptions, all for 0 extra cost. Plus, you could be eligible for extra benefits to help you save even more. We have plans with up to $2,500 a year to help you pay for over-the-counter health items, groceries, and living expenses like cell phone, electric, or water bills, all on a single prepaid MasterCard you can use at thousands of locations nationwide. Call Anthem Maine Health at 855-753-3928 or visit anthemmainhealth.com/answers and get a Medicare Advantage plan with zero compromises for you and your wallet.
Attending this year's Super Bowl in Glendale, Arizona may require taking out a loan. Round-trip flights to Phoenix average $500, according to travel app Hopper. Those who are looking to head to the big game from Philadelphia on Saturday and come back Tuesday may have to pay more than $6,000. Hotel prices in the area are also soaring with an average of $600 per night. The average cost for a ticket to the Super Bowl is $6,434 on Vivid seats. Tickets on Ticketmaster's Best Seat Connection seats are going for $40,000. Wow. Let's check your full forecast with Devin Biggs. Devin?
Alrighty, here we go. A winter weather advisory in effect in the northern ends of the state. That will last until about 9 a.m. We also have gale warnings up until 7 p.m. Friday along the coast here. We also have another little shade of color right here, so we're going to start highlighting that right there. We'll query that up. That right there is actually a gale watch in effect, so we might see an upgrade at some point to a warning. And I'm actually going to punch up one more alert right here. That is a small crowd advisory that is in effect. We'll remove that menu right there. So we do have plenty of alerts that are in effect, though, along the coast because of the system that's beginning to move in. So for now, we're quiet out there. We're watching clouds moving in from the west. Going toward the east, we'll see increasing clouds for the daytime period. So watching this system right here that's getting attacked together across the Midwest and more precipitation further down toward the south. The leading edge will move in by about 6 o'clock this evening and continue overnight with pretty much snow and a wintry mix that will transition to all rain with warmer temperatures that will move in. 7 inches of snow on the ground in Bangor right now, 21 inches over in Caribou, so still a decent snow depth taking place here at this point. But we will be melting some snow, though, with some precipitation moving in as rain and warmer temperatures on the way soon as well. By about 6 o'clock tonight, the snow will begin to move in, so we'll have plenty of snow falling by the time you go to bed at about 10 to 11 o'clock. Then the snow will switch over to all rain with a few breaks in there as well, so we'll have some morning rain showers possible with a lot of it falling in the northern ends of the state. But notice what happens by the afternoon period. Maybe a few leftover rain and snow showers and such, but most of us will start to dry out with the clouds breaking up late in the afternoon to the evening period as well. So by Friday night, things will start to calm down, but some clouds again trying to sink in here with maybe a slight chance for a few snow showers as we head towards Saturday morning as well, with another wave of energy passing through. So nothing too meaningful on the way. We have about a couple inches of snow expected in Bangor today, maybe up to 4 inches near the Washington County area, but overall 3 to 6 inches of snow possible in the northern ends of the state, with not so much further down toward the south. Here's what the amount of water could be. So this is rainfall, and whatever snow could fall to converted into rainfall units. So overall, about 3/4 of an inch of rain possible before we're all finished up. So that'll be falling onto the soil. And wave heights are still up there right now. 3 to 6 foot wave heights being noted right now. We're calm at the moment, but we'll start seeing things increasing soon, and that is why we have some advisories in effect along the coast. For today, 37 degrees above freezing, melting some snow. Late afternoon rain and snow showers. Southeast breeze at about 5 miles per hour. Later on tonight, 32 degrees. That'll be hit early, and then we'll be rising after midnight. The winter mix switching over to rain. The southeast wind at about 25 miles per hour. By tonight, or by tomorrow, I should say, 50 degrees. That'll feel nice. Morning rain showers, and mostly cloudy for the afternoon. Maybe some leftover precipitation if you're lucky. That west wind at about 25 miles per hour. And your extended forecast. So here we go. Morning snow showers, again, as we head towards Saturday with highs in the lower 30s. You can see morning rain showers Friday, morning snow showers Saturday. You can see why that's a tongue twister there. But notice the temperature difference by Saturday. Highs only in the lower 30s and lower 40s by Sunday with a partly cloudy sky, and mostly cloudy Monday, highs in the upper 30s.
Thank you, Devin. Sounds kind of crazy, but I'm kind of looking forward to that rain. It'll help get rid of the ice in the yard, and it'll get rid of the nastiness on my car. That's all for ABC 7 News at noon. Thanks for watching. I'm Susan Farley. We'll see you this evening with Peter Dubois and Beth Jones on ABC 7 News at 6.
It's high school basketball season, and ABC7 and Fox 22 are here to keep you up to date with your local scores and highlights during Friday Night Fast Break. Get out and support your hometown teams and look for our sports crew to get your own free Friday Night Fast